Hey guys, welcome back to Talking with Tyler. On today's podcast, I'll be talking about college football so far. And as college football is through its fifth week, Georgia Bulldogs are first in the nation right now. 5-0, win streak of 5. Behind them is Michigan and Texas, Ohio State, and Florida State. So this weekend's games were pretty even, with blowouts and no upsets really. Colorado almost upset USC, which that was a pretty close game. Colorado was down 20 in the going to halftime, and they came all the way back to make it a one-score game. They only lost by 7 or so. And Georgia keeps riding. They had a close game against Auburn. Auburn had a chance. Georgia ended up beating Auburn 27-20. And Oregon 42-6 versus Stanford. There's some really good teams that are just ripping up these smaller schools. Yeah, so USC beat Colorado 48-41. So Colorado came all the way back and only lost by 7. So that was actually a pretty good comeback for the Colorado team. They are on a 2-game losing streak now, losing 2 consecutive games. USC was number 9, so that would have been a good win for Colorado if they beat USC, because they were unranked. They lost 2 straight games to USC and Oregon. And some other games that happened on this Saturday afternoon was Penn State beat Northwestern 41-13. Those Penn State Nittany Lions stay undefeated at a impressive 5-0 start to their season on their quarterback that's leading them. And Michigan 45-7 over Nebraska. Nebraska is not that great this year. And Kentucky beat up Florida. Florida was ranked, I think, coming into this game. And Kentucky stays 5-0 and is now ranked 20th in the nation. 5-0 on start. And Texas beat Kansas 40-14. Both of those teams were in the top 25 coming into this game. Now, Kansas got their first loss. Now they're 4-1. Missouri beat Vanderbilt 38-21. And Ole Miss 55-49. That was a pretty close game. Both of those teams were in the top 25 coming into the game. Oklahoma beat Iowa State 50-20. Oklahoma, another team that's undefeated, coming into the sixth week of the season. It's 5-0 start. Tennessee 41-20 with South Carolina. Notre Dame 21-14 versus Duke. Notre Dame, as I mentioned in the past podcast, they almost beat Ohio State at the last second. Ohio State scored a touchdown, and in this game, they beat up Duke, which was pretty good win for them because Duke was in the top 25 coming into the game. They were 11. Now Duke is 19. So Notre Dame gave Duke their first loss of the season on this past Saturday. Alabama 40-17 versus Mississippi State. So Alabama's doing well too this year, 4-1 start. Washington Huskies 31-24 versus Arizona. And Fresno State beat Nevada 27-9. So what a not so great games, just like blowouts, some very close games, but the games weren't that competitive this past week. But some teams are really playing well so far to start the season. As I mentioned before, Georgia, Michigan, Texas, Ohio State, and Florida State are all in the top 5 going into the season. And as you know or may not know, my team is Notre Dame. They're number 10 right now. Hoping they improve in the future. But there's just a lot of teams that are good this year. And it's going to be tough to win these games. Notre Dame, I'll talk about Notre Dame's upcoming schedule. Notre Dame is going to be taking on Louisville this week, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Louisville, 7:30, another prime time, and then they play USC, which USC won on Saturday against Colorado, another pretty decent team, Colorado. They're on their Coach Prime now, and his son is the quarterback of the team. So I thought the Colorado team would be very good this year, but they're off to a 3-2 start. And Notre Dame is off to a 5-1 start. They play a couple more primetime games, one against Louisville, one against USC, and some games that are undecided yet to be answered what the times are. Like Clemson, that's probably going to be a primetime game. They're off to a 3-2 start. So I think all these teams are going to be great this year. Just going to be tough to beat these teams. So thank you guys for listening to my podcast about college football so far. Some competitive, some non-competitive games to start the season. But there's still plenty of season left to prove that you belong. So thank you guys for listening to my podcast. Bye, guys.